Hello everybody, in today's video I'm going to be talking about why you should never copy a pro player's class setup that you see in CoD World League. And there's several different reasons to it, and I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to break it down. It's not going to be a very long video, but we'll explain why these pros never use the best class setups you see featured in my videos as well as many other YouTubers. So let's go ahead and get into the video. One of the biggest reasons why pros use different class setups than we do normally in our day-to-day basis when playing public matches is because they have several restrictions. So let's take a look at those. So as you can see, they're basically limited on the weapon choices. They're not allowed to use any LMGs. They're restricted from using the Volk, the Sten, the Orso, the 9mm pistol, and then also any launchers. So they are able to use shotguns, most of the SMGs, and pretty much all of the rifles except for the DLC ones. So as far as attachments go, they're not able to use high caliber, they're not able to use rapid fire, full metal jackets off the table, and they're not able to use the new rifle grenade. As far as score streaks go, they cannot use recon aircraft, they can't use counter recon, well, there's really no need for that. Can't call in a care package because then it can give you one of those random streaks that's knocked off the list. Emergency airdrop, the same thing. They're not allowed to use paratroopers. Molotov cocktails are off the limits as well. As far as basic training goes, half the basic trainings they're not allowed to use. Not allowed to use espionage. Launch was removed from the game. Requisitions, not necessary. Rifleman, lookout, ordnance, concuss, bang, saboteur, shifty, duelist, blitzkrieg, or clandestine. So you basically are playing a different game when you're a pro player in these tournaments. So let's look at some of the other restrictions they have. So a few of the other restrictions are the S-Mine, the satchel charge. They're not allowed to use the resistance division. They're not allowed to use any turrets, and incendiary shells are off limits when they use shotguns. Most of them aren't using shotguns just because of the limited ranges of the shotguns, but in general, you're not allowed to use incendiary shells. So basically, all these restrictions are things that kind of annoy most public match players, and they just don't have to deal with it. So I'm going to talk about how this affects the class setup and why it's important to pay attention to that, and how that they're playing a completely different game than we are. So we're going to look at these class setups really briefly for Optic Gaming. They're pretty much one of the top tier teams in competitive Call of Duty. A lot of great teams, but this is the one I'm going to feature. And then you can see basically they're all running the armored division, so that helps them prevent from the tacticals and the nades. And then two of them are running energetic and two are running scoped. I guess it's a matter of preference there on strafe speed. But when you don't have all those other options and you're not worried about, you know, certain things, you can actually modify your class completely. As far as the weapon go, they're all using the PPSH because basically based off their limitations, PPSH is the best gun to go. And we're going to talk about why they choose those attachments. And then we look at Formal. He's running an STG 44, and you can see the attachments he has. So let's go ahead and kind of check out why those make sense. So the first thing we're going to look at is actually look at the different attachments for the rifle and see what they're working with. So they can actually use the lens sight, quick draw, grip, steady aim, reflex sight, 4x sight, extended mags. You can see they got the bayonet still, and then they also have advanced rifling. But you can see two of the best attachments in my opinion in the game, rapid fire and high caliber. They cannot use FMJ if they're not going to be running armored. So they're kind of restricted. Like, what else would you use? So you got to use 3 attachments if you're using armored. You wouldn't just leave it without attachments. And then I'll explain why they don't really use that extended magazine. So you're going to go ahead and look at the class setup again real quick. And you'll notice for every single class, they're not using extended mags. And the reason for that, as far as their weapon, primary weapon goes, is because usually this is 4v4. So the most people they're really going to ever have to run into and kill in one magazine is 3, possibly 4. And that's usually a rare occurrence. So basically they're gearing so everything could be geared towards the best killing power based off the limitations they're given. So you can see they all have advanced rifling, so that increases the kill potential at that range. They all have quick draw, so if they come around the corner, they're not sprinting. Quick draw will actually work. If they actually want a better aim assist, you know, as far as being able to control the weapon, even though grip doesn't do much, it's better than having nothing. And then some have a sight. So they've gone and chosen these things specifically for the fact that all those limitations exist. They're playing 4v4 and they're stuck with certain limitations in the game, so you got to pay attention to that. I'd love to know your thoughts of the video down in the comments section below. Remember to leave a like rating if you did enjoy the video in any way. Dislike if you didn't, no biggie there. I do appreciate any feedback. It's all welcome. If you do like videos about tips and tricks on how to improve different in-game mechanic breakdowns for Call of Duty and then overall best class setups, this is the channel for you. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you got those notifications on so you don't miss one of my videos. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.